Uh, Key analyses of sorts. I'm back again with another video. This time we're going to be looking at the so-called refugees in South Africa, the illegal foreigners that have a syndicate exploiting South African public healthcare for drug trafficking. These are the people you guys are crying for. Talking about we are one Africa, let's come together, let's work together, let's all this nonsense. These people are here stealing medication and selling it in their countries. So you want us to support that? That's criminality. Yeah, but anyway, when we speak, they say we're xenophobic. So now I'm going to show you, fellow, what's happening with your tax money. And for anybody that supports these illegal foreigners or that has sympathy for them, just know that they are drug trafficking in our country. They are stealing drugs, taking them to their countries. Or rather, let me put it like this so that you can understand. They come into South Africa to get free medication and they act as if they're sick so that they can take the medication back to their home countries and sell them at a profit. Medication that they received in South Africa for free. So that's what your sympathy is doing. It's creating criminals. And our tax money is going towards syndicates of criminality that we know the South African government is also behind and involved in, because they turn a blind eye. The police, they turn a blind eye. They all know that this is happening. This is not news to them, but they act like they're so surprised that this is what's happening in South Africa. So there's been several bust-ups where authorities have uncovered a syndicate of illegal foreigners that are posing as patients in South African clinics and hospitals to collect prescription medication, which is then smuggled to places like Zimbabwe and Malawi for illegal resale. These people that you feel so sorry for, this is the type of criminality you're actually in support of. This is the criminality you guys are supporting by siding with criminals who are committing all types of crime in South Africa, as if South Africa is just a free-for-all. Same people that are saying we are one brother, one sister. They're abusing our kindness towards them to commit all types of illegal activities. So this type of operation, this syndicate that we're seeing here, it takes advantage of our overburdened public health facilities and weak oversight with commonly targeted drugs, including ARVs, painkillers, and other high-demand medications, all distributed free or at subsidized rates in South Africa, then sold for a profit across borders. This is a growing black market, and it's putting pressure on our healthcare system and depriving citizens of critical medication. So I want to hear what Rutendo and the defenders of this nonsense and the South African Human Rights Commission, what they have to say about this. Of course, they won't speak out against this because they themselves want to see black South Africans die so they can replace us as the new apartheid slave labor. Because white people love these foreigners. They work for cheap. They're very compliant. They're not revolutionary. They just want to be peaceful, quiet slaves, something that we fought against in South Africa because we refuse to be slaves in our own country. This is why Africa refuses to develop, because they can't kick out the neo-colonialist government that has been planted there by their colonial masters. You must start with your own country and fix it. Running away to be a slave in another country is not the solution. This is what people now have to resort to. They come and take advantage of our public healthcare facilities and the drugs and treatment that we make available to try to heal them, and they take them to their countries to sell them at a profit. Next time you feel sorry for these foreigners, just know that this is what they're doing when they come to South Africa for medication. These people are not sick or as sick as they make themselves out to be. This is a whole illegal business, a syndicate that is ran by illegal foreigners. Imagine, illegal foreigners that shouldn't even be in the country have so much access in South Africa. This is why you're seeing South Africans standing up and fighting, because we cannot allow our country to turn into a banana republic. There's nowhere in Africa where you can go, even around the world, where you'll be given free medication and free healthcare. Only in South Africa, which is not sustainable. You cannot take care of the health burdens of every single freaking nation. We cannot budget for that. We must budget and prioritize our own people, unless there's a deliberate plan to try and genocide Black South Africans. And this is one of the ways that they're doing it. One of them is poverty and unemployment, refusing to hire Black South Africans that are qualified, so that our people essentially starve to death. Our people cannot afford property. They have nowhere to live. They have no food to eat. We're being systematically eradicated, systematically exterminated, like they did. The same colonizers that have gone around the world removing indigenous people, like they did with the Aborigines in Australia, like they did with the Red Indians or the Native Americans in America. White people, colonizers, love to claim lands and areas and areas that do not belong to them and say that they are theirs, and then rewrite the history books to make it seem as if the land was empty. This is what they do. They are serial land dispossessors. White people are criminals. They've achieved what they've achieved in this world through criminality that they legalize. And because their courts are so corrupt, they're allowed to get away with all sorts of criminality. That's who Africans want to come and work for in South Africa. The people that we're trying to kick out, the colonizers we're trying to kick out, the African foreigners are coming into the country to come and work for these people, and yet they preach one Africa and African unity. Nonsense and ignorance. But South Africans, this is where your tax money is going. It's not going to helping our people to heal and to become better. It's being used in an illegal syndicate ran by illegal foreigners who are stealing medication from our country, taking it to their countries for a profit, while our people suffer because our clinics have no medication to take care of our own people. You cannot tell me the ANC and the GNU and the DA are not aware that this is happening. They know. They just don't care, because the goal and the plan is to kill off Black South Africans and replace us with a new compliant immigrant work slave labor force, apartheid slave labor force. That's the goal. That's what they're doing. That's what they're working towards. So we must fight. We must never be cowards. We must never give up, and we must never give in. We're being attacked in so many different ways by so many different groups of people. But nonetheless, we must stay strong and fight for our country. Shapa Feti, thanks for tuning in. Take another good look at where your tax money is going.